host, Polly Jo Labbe, here broadcasting live on YouTube through Be Live TV. And here we are. We're broadcasting on our new channel on YouTube called Trinity Mystical Energy. And if you haven't gotten a chance to subscribe, I invite you guys to do so. So welcome. Hi, everybody. Hello to some of our first guests. Bree, how are you doing? Happy Earth Day. Yes, we're celebrating Earth Day today for chakra sessions. We're going to talk a little bit about Mother Earth's beautiful energy field, and we're going to send her some healing. Hi, Julie, nice to have you. And I see Ellen's in the house. I love that picture, by the way. And Julie, hi, girl. Nice to have you. So, a lot of people are talking about, today is Earth Day. And how can we help and what can we do to show our love and appreciation? And I am in that place where I enjoy really thinking about ways that I can send healing, because that's my thing, right? I love to send healing because it really taps into something special to you. Oh, and I'm going to say hi to my co-pilot, Rob, which we can kind of hear a little bit from the background. But there you go. And hi, Carol. And Rob is hello from YouTube land. And then Judy, hello. Oops. Hi, nice to have you here. So we are in, this Earth Day energy, and it's all about how can we honor Grandmother Earth. It's okay, Rob. We heard more of the clicking than the breathing, but it's okay. So on Earth Day, we take time out to do things to honor the great planet that we live on. I mean, she's here to lovingly hold us and support us. She brings us nourishment. She brings us shelter and water. And it's something that we sometimes take for granted, except when there's these like huge disasters going on. Then we realize how, sacred our connection is, or how much we rely on Mother Nature's good graces to stay in a place where we're enjoyed being on her energy. And, I talk about energy as chakras. Those are the engines that help fuel our energy body. And all living things have some sort of energy system, and Grandmother Earth is no exception. And there are many people out there who talk about Grandmother Earth's, 7 chakra system. And so we'll start with the basics with her. And just to give you an idea, now, it's a little hard sometimes to imagine because her shape is an orb. But we forget that when we add on our auric layers and everything, we're an orb too. And if you look out into the sky and you see the moon and the sun, most of the things where matter has gathered together tightly, they're an orb. It's one of the sacred geometry elements. It's found everywhere. And so it's not a surprise in that fashion. So when we're talking about Grandmother Earth's chakras, you have to remember that they're located deep within the Earth's energy, deep within the Earth herself. So even though people experience her chakra energy on various surfaces of the Earth, that's not her exact chakra. It's just where we can feel that chakra the most. So like the Earth chakra, for example, many people know is in Mount Shasta and, at the base, but that's where we experience root chakra energy. It's where our root chakra gets activated with hers. And that would be like we're hanging out like at her knees or her feet. But it doesn't mean that it's only located there. So I wanted to make that clear that the chakras are really deep within the earth itself. We just experience it as human beings in particular locations on the global map. So hi, Sylvia. Welcome. Your opinion. Oh, so Rob's asking your opinion on Mother Earth versus Grandmother Earth. Yes, there is a distinction. I go back and forth lots of times because it depends on how ancient animal I connect to. Mother Earth is a term that I experience more with people who see God as Father. So when they're experiencing God as Father, then they may experience Earth as Mother. And I feel that the more ancient traditions, they talk about their ancestors as grandparents. So these are your grandparents. And so in that respect, it's a layer of respect to call Mother Earth Grandmother Earth, because it is very similar to a title, and she energetically birthed us all. And many people experience that more in a grandmother tradition. And people who have the grandmother sense, they see the meaning of grandfather sky. And grandfather sky is everything that's above us, often. And so I do go back and forth between mother and grandmother for the title. It depends on if I'm channeling the ancient one completely. It's going to be grandmother. When I'm talking as Polly Jo, I grew up talking about her as Mother Earth, so it's I get into that tug of war, I suppose. But grandmother feels more appreciative, and it's more in a place of respect. That's how I've experienced it. Hi, homegrown mama, nice to have you. So Rob also was saying the idea of the sun as the divine father and the earth as the divine mother is rooted in astrophysics. It just took a while for science to get hit. Yeah, and for those who know me, I teach quantum physics. It's part of that. So I think it's part of why, it's another reason why I go back and forth, because it's something that I've taught in many lifetimes. And so it depends on which language you're speaking in. I think it really kind of goes back and forth. And Bree is saying, I tend to use both. Grandmother seems more familiar to me. Yes. When I get in full blown channel mode, it's 95% grandmother as opposed to mother. Because I don't know, that's probably how I was raised energetically, going back into past lives and things like that. But I've never felt it is a disrespect to use either. It's honoring that for me, she is the embodiment of the divine feminine, and she holds within her sphere the very energy of creation itself. And so when tapping into the divine feminine, we reach deep within her womb and bring it up to us. So possibly that's why I go back and forth, because the womb feels more motherly, and but the reverence is more grandmotherly. I think as long as we're honoring that she's the divine feminine that we have around us, we're good. And so on this day, it's really about, she serves us many times, but we have to remember that we live on the surface of her being. And she's stretching, she's growing, and she's evolving. And, we're kind of like renters. We're here on her whim. If she doesn't want us here, she's going to just shake us right off if we don't get with the program. So how do we heal our connection? How do we establish a more sacred union with the grandmother earth, with the mother earth? And that's why I call in the healing energy. She's doing her thing. She doesn't necessarily need healing at the very core of her being, but we've created a lot of stuck energy on the outer realm of her sphere. And, it's time we clean up our mess. So when I'm sending healing to Grandmother Earth, it's in the intention that we're clearing up the mess we made. Not that she's faulty, that she has anything to hold on to. It's that we haven't respected her. And so it's time to cleanse and restore her and call back some of the ways we've abused our relationship with her. So one of the things that, is a little bit, it's like a way to show that we're all connected, is that, like I said, you can connect to Grandmother Earth's 7 chakras. And we do have a picture that Rob will stick up in a second that has some basics on where the Earth chakras are. Thanks, Rob. So the root chakra is in, near Mount Shasta, which is great. And then the second chakra is down in South America. It's near Peru. And then we go all the way over to Australia, and that is where her third chakra is located. And then near Glastonbury, some people want to say it's Stonehenge, but they haven't quantified that yet. That is where her heart chakra is located. And then in the Great Pyramids, where the Sphinx are in Egypt, that's where her throat chakra, you can experience it there. And then her third eye energy is also very close to Glastonbury. And as I said, it's because you can experience it as an orb. So when the orb kind of stretches out, you experience it there. I have a theory about that. I think it was in Atlantis, when Atlantis was around, before that things moved around a little bit. But that's my own thing. So then in Tibet, that's where we experience more of the crown chakra. So in this picture, you can see there's these wavy lines. And they're called the female dragon and the male dragon in the Chinese tradition. In South America, they talk about them as the spirit lines. And in the Aborigines, they're called, in Australia, they're called the dream lines. And basically, you have one line that is feminine and one line that is masculine. And for those of you who have ever seen the caduceus, that think of that symbol of medicine where you have the waves that go up, and it's over a cane, and you see snakes often, which is a big symbol in Egypt. That is very symbolic of the dragons. So in the caduceus energy that we carry within us, or some people will talk about as kundalini, those dragons or snakes, they run through our energy field in a very similar fashion, and they do have a male and a female energy. So these are very basic places where you can sense the energy, and also places where, thank you for showing the caduceus. Oh, look at Rob being a good trooper. So you can see how they're very similar, that it goes back and forth, and just that we experience it in alignment with our body this way. And it's interesting that we experience it in a horizontal fashion on the earth plane. So with that, that's where the major energy is flowing. If you were really talking about, where the waves are and how to follow them and send healing, that is a way where you could look at a globe, and put your hands on a globe, and you can visualize that. It makes a lot more sense. And I wish I had thought to bring my my globe from my healing space, but there you have it. So that is one way to send healing is by focusing on the chakras and by focusing on the masculine and the feminine divine energy that flow through the dragons or the spirit lines or the dream lines, however, whatever term resonates from you. For me, the dragons resonate because I love dragon energy, but also because it's so closely affiliated with the snakes that are in the caduceus. So the other thing that my team has been talking to me about for years, because I actually wrote an article called Healing the Energy Body of Grandmother Earth for Star Nations magazine a few years ago. And that was all that was all channeled information. So I remember going, oh, this is cool. So when we look at the longitude and latitude lines on our maps, every intersection is what my team would call a secondary chakra. And what that means is it's a place that either sends energy to us or it's a vortex that pulls energy down to help clearing. And the interesting thing is that if you look at the chakras that send healing energy or positivity, love and light up to us from Grandmother Earth, most of those places are located where we have built things that are sacred. So you would see temples there, you might see churches there, you might see national parks and things like that, places where people go and rejuvenate. You might go into like Arizona, and where people go and they have a lot of energy and healing, and Hawaii and things like that. Though Hawaii has some soul chakra stuff, and it's not for today. But these places where you go and your breath gets caught from the beauty, and you just feel connected fully. Those are places where the earth is sending us positivity. Now, there are places, these vortexes, where energy is being pulled out. It's helping clearing the energy that those of us who are above, not just us, but the animals, the atmosphere, those chakras are there to, be like a toilet, really. We flush the negativity down. And it is amazing how many of those are on battlefields, on graveyards, on these places where you just can feel that kind of heavy, dark energy. And that's actually one of the big places that, and there's thousands of them across, the entire globe. And those are the places that need the most clearing. Because when a chakra that is meant to pull negative energy, pull toxins out of the earth sphere, if they get clogged, we all know what happens when our pipes get clogged, right? Stuff can't get down, it spews back out, and it's not pretty. And that's actually where Grandmother Earth can use our help, is to send healing to those places where the energy has congested and it has gotten stuck. Because the only way she has to clear is through the weather. So many people were commenting over the past couple of years about how many tornadoes and how many fires and how many things were happening. It's because she needs to clear all of the energy that's stuck on the surface, and she's going to use the 4 elements to do it. So either she's going to use earth and she's going to shake it out of us, which then can lead to earthquakes. It can lead to tsunamis because of, it building pressure under the water. She can use water. She can use storms and hurricanes and things like that to flood us out. And then she can use fire, and those fires that catch from lightning and things like that, those are cleansing. They're whipping through. And think about all the fires that were in Australia, right in the middle of her 3rd chakra. And in our 3rd chakra, we hold all of our anxiety, worry, stress, anger, judgment, and resentment. And hers was on fire. So what does that mean? She's held on to all of that fear and all of that anger that we're walking around on the planet, and she bursts out in flames. And then she uses the wind. Today we've had a very blustery day here. It's been blowing and blowing and blowing. And I'm like, yep, because we needed it. We had very, very hot weather for a few days. It was a little bit of the fire energy. And there were fiery emotions last week that were going on in all that Aries energy. And then we stepped into some rain and some snow. So that was the next layer of clearing and purging. And now she's blowing it away with the wind. You sense the pattern that she uses to clear. And we know it. We're here. But if we help her out, then those things don't have to be so turbulent when she's cleansing herself, because we can look back and see, there weren't as many incidents of things that we're having now. And sure, there's a lot more people on the planet. Sure, there's a lot more people who are careless on the planet. But at the same time, it corresponds to what she needs to begin with. And we've blown a hole in our aura by, destroying aspects of her ozone. So she doesn't have a good defense system from toxins coming in and saturating her. So it's part of our job as healers and as people who are just really connected to each other, to humanity, and to Grandmother Earth. Having gratitude every day for all that she's provided you with. There's absolutely no way that you didn't interact with her today, because you walked on her and you ate food that came from her belly, right? So the least we can do is send healing back, And it's fantastic that we choose Earth Day as one of those days to do it. But really, anytime you feel called, you can send love and light and divine healing. You just ask the divine to fill you with the highest, fullest, brightest vibrational energy that you can connect to, and you lovingly offer it to Grandmother Earth. And if she doesn't need it, then it will go to something or someone else who's living on her being. So it's not going to get wasted for you to take that extra step. And so that's important for us to think about, that we could send her healing every day if we wanted to. And I know somebody who's very attached to Grandmother Earth, who's one of her little earth warriors. And she has a globe and she sends healing all over the globe for Grandmother Earth and then for anyone who is asking for assistance. So Rob says, to me, saving the planet is a profound arrogance. She will be fine. If we are acting out of balance, she will get rid of us as our body gets rid of a virus. Yes. Yeah, she doesn't need rescuing for sure, Rob. I see it as sending gratitude to the one who houses us so that we're allowed to stay, right? Because she doesn't need us. Yeah, it's not like she's gonna blow up because we've been bad. She's just gonna take care of us if we don't behave. Because that's what a grandma getting a timeout. So here we are. We're going to do a healing meditation. Yes, humanity can consider itself addressed in its full legal name. I like that. And then Bree said it was the sweetest. It is. Um, you know, some people are really called to nature and really called to that connection. And another way to heal Grandmother Earth is to take care of, the other beings who are here on the planet with us, not the animals, and the trees and the plants, and the water, big time the water. I mean, so much of her body is made up of water, just like ours. So, what if you sent healing to help clear the ocean of the mess we've made? And maybe you're not the one who threw the bottle in the ocean, but that's not it's not about blame. It's about how do we take ownership of, okay, we've messed up as a global community. So how do we fix it? And while the legal things have to happen and while scientists are creating things to help out, and there are people out there on boats who are, dredging for plastic, which I appreciate. One of the things we can do as healers is do this, send healing, so that we can lighten the load of all this congested, stuck energy. And we all feel better when our energy is flowing easily. We don't have to be the one to place the burden on her. Consider it like we're the energy vampires and we can choose to stop sucking her dry, and maybe give some back for all the times we have. So Homegrown Mommy says, that is a good point, but I do think it is important to make amends. When we hurt another, we talk about the importance of making amends in addition to saying sorry. This is like saying sorry and proving it. Yes. Yes, it's putting your money where your mouth is, right? It's not just saying the words that need to be said, but it's also about taking some sort of action. And this is one way you can start. And it may seem simple, it may seem easy, but it's at least a start, And when we start thinking of her as a living, breathing being, we make different choices about how we treat her. And, we think differently about, what we use and how we use it. And we think differently about, do we really need to dig another thing? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? So we make conscious choice. That's what my team wants to say. So this is about the difference about being, walking around in ego body, sleepwalking, zombie walking through, or being aware that your actions can create a reaction from Grandmother Earth. And if you're aware, then you walk lightly. A lot of the native traditions talk about walking lightly, which is like, be careful of your impact, And then I think of the phrase, you know, leave it better than when you found it. So what are ways that you can help out? We talk about planting trees and doing things to help alleviate waste and make a smaller footprint. All of those things are steps to saying you care. But today, so we don't get overwhelmed with all those things that we need to do, which we do need to do, but we don't have to do right this second. We can just start in this moment with a conscious choice to send healing and gratitude for all that she's provided for us. And, um, maybe ask for a little forgiveness because we've got a lot to be forgiven for as a global community. We're kind of like Rob said, we're a virus. We're bugs on her surface. She doesn't know one of us from another necessarily. It's a collection, right? And so we want to change the vibration of the collective. And that starts by healing. And we're going to do ourselves so then we have clear and clean energy to send to her. All right. So let's get started. I'm excited. So you're going to want to have your feet and your arms uncrossed. If you can, it's often best to have your feet flat on the floor because that will help you connect to her. Even if you're not on the first floor of your building, it's the intention that your foundation is connected to hers. And if you can always sit on the floor with her, lay on the floor, it's fine, but you want to have that sense of really connecting to her. So we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. And with each breath, we're going to really connect to our physical temple, our body, feeling our bones and our muscles, and the connection to the chair or the floor, the bed. And we're going to welcome in the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. And we're going to ask the divine to put a beautiful container around us as we do this healing work as a group, as a community, with the intention for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves and Grandmother Earth. And invite in your spiritual teams, those angels and guides, the star beings, the mystical creatures, the elementals, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. And taking a moment to really open your connection to the divine, however you perceive that. Whether you connect to God or Goddess, Grandmother or Mother Earth, Grandfather Sky, all that is, just awakening and honoring your sacred connection to all that is, and using your beautiful heart to send a cord of connection through each of your chakras, down through the earth, connecting to the heart and the center of Grandmother Earth, to her heartbeat, to her womb, to the creation energy below, and also sending a cord of grounding up through your chakras, out through the atmosphere, past stars and planets, to the center of creation, the Divine Father, to that spot where your soul was first perceived. And taking a moment to feel the sacred connection, the Holy Trinity within, Mother, Father, and Self. And we begin by making sure that our crown chakra is steady, open, clear of doubt or worry, released of the day, the week, the month, simply centered in this moment, in this breath right now. Connecting to our third eye and our awareness, our perception, expanding our connection to our spiritual team, and even our connection to what Grandmother Earth is trying to communicate to us and through us. Balancing the throat, so that the words of gratitude and love and appreciation are expressed, where our full sense of self can be connected, honored, and connecting to our heart and the sovereignty of our own divine being. As we stand in union and communion with the divine above and below, filled with love and compassion for the earth and all living beings. The wonder and the magic of that. And moving into our third chakra, extinguishing any fires that have been raging, our fear, our anxiety, our anger, our judgment, resentment. self doubt, self criticism, quieting the fire to allow space for our truth to be experienced, felt, and heard. Moving into the second chakra, balancing the waves of our emotions, filling our sacred connection with love and light, releasing any strings or cords of attachment so that you are free in this moment to give and receive without attachment from the simple love of experiencing. Moving down to the root chakra, and bringing balance, serenity, and calm to the foundation of your being and who you are. And allowing all of the energy to move down your legs, your feet, and into the center of the earth. Imagine you have a chakra deep below the earth. Maybe even more than one. And allowing that energy to light up and connect so you feel deeper and more fully connected to Grandmother Earth as you experience her being within your being. No separation, pure connection. We're going to ask the divine energy to move through us to send healing to any area where Grandmother Earth's energy is stuck, whether it is a chakra, one of the vortexes, places where there are pollution, maybe where a lot of people live and create a very dense energy for her to hold. Gently sending the divine light to break apart any energy that is stuck, not moving, helping her to feel in the flow, releasing her the burden of all that we have created that has impacted her health and her well-being. We connect to her element of earth, and the ways she manifests that in this beautiful place we call home. Again, releasing any toxic energy, places where we have buried things within her that may not be for her highest benefit. Allowing that energy to be decomposed, filled with love and light, and released back to Creator. And connecting to her element of water and all the beautiful places where water exists for all of us. The oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, and even the puddles. Sending healing energy through the water to help restore its vibration. Helping cleanse the atmosphere for those who live within her, in our oceans and our lakes. And cleansing all the fire she contains within her. Restoring it to balance. Helping to release any need to experience fire on her surface in a way that is harmful for her. And clearing the breath, the air that surrounds us, moves through us. Imagining a giant filter, clearing away the impurities, gathering them up and sending them back to creation as well. And calling in the ethers, Great Spirit, to help restore and repair her aura in all of its layers, her ozone, her protection, and taking a moment in this connection to her heart, sending beautiful gratitude to her and through her, so that she may receive our thanks in this moment for all that she does for us. And now, taking a deep breath, begin to bring your energy back to your own physical body. Sending gratitude out to our spiritual teams for helping us to connect this evening, to share this moment of healing, connection, and community. And allowing any excess energy that you don't need to fill you, to gently take root beneath you, give into Grandmother Earth, to share with anyone or anything on the planet that needs restoring.
Yeah.
So you can start to bring your energy back. You can rub the tops of your legs. You can rub your feet on the floor, your hands together, whatever you need to bring you back into the present moment. You can stretch if you need to, yawn, um, whatever works for you. You know, thank you for coming together to send healing to Grandmother Earth. We have a very codependent relationship with Grandmother Earth, and codependent doesn't have to be toxic. It can be just that we depend on her. And, she depends on us to take care of her too in our own way. And as Rob had said, she'll be fine without us. But yes, interdependent. She's fine without us. But we might not be fine without her. So as we take this time to honor that connection, to go through sacred ritual of doing a healing and experiencing um, her energy with us and with the divine, we can sense how connected we are. And you know this is, it's like, um it doesn't have to be a once a year thing. It's kind of like having a good friend. And, do you only see your good friend and hang out with your good friend, on their birthday? Or do you, talk to them frequently? Do you send them notes of kindness? Um, so think about how you can grow your relationship with Grandmother Earth, because she's the only one we got. And maybe it's just being more mindful of what you eat, what you drink, how you recycle. And remember, as long as we're doing our best, that's the key. To always do our best, and give back whenever we can, because that's the ultimate way of um, making amends, as Homegrown Mama said. So with that, you guys, I hope you have a blessed rest of your Earth Day. And how about we make Earth Day every day? Because I think that would be really cool. Sending you love and light and healing with all things chakra. And next week, I believe Rob will know. I'm like, I got to look at the calendar. I believe we're celebrating the full moon, maybe. But he'll let me know. So we'll see you here next week and at 7. So we'll see you next time. And if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do it, Trinity Mystical Energy. And for all things chakra tools and all of that, go to my website at trinitymysticalenergy.com. And if you want to learn how to be a healer, look at our school. Bye, guys. Have a great day.